The Sega Dreamcast. Sega's final home console, the system that showed up, kicked the door open, did a sick backflip, then vanished off the planet. People love to argue about this thing. Some people say it was bad, some people say it was good, and some people say it was just there. The Dreamcast wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was mediocre. But personally, I thought it was a great console, and today I'm going to explain why. Before we get into the actual games, let's just appreciate the console's hardware. First off, there's the design. It's clean, compact, and its white shell looks futuristic without trying too hard. It doesn't look angry. It doesn't look like it's trying to intimidate you. Unlike the original Xbox, that looks like it's going to kick you in the balls if you don't pay it $5. The Dreamcast just kind of sits there like, yeah, I know I'm cool. The controller, it's not bad, but it's far from good. The cable comes out of the bottom, but then they included a notch on the back to route the cable through. Why not just make the cable come out of the top, like every other normal controller that was made up until that point? It's such a Sega decision. Almost smart, but just weird enough to question it. But then there's the VMU. Oh, the VMU. It's a memory card with a screen. You can see stats, play mini games, and watch a little animation. It was completely unnecessary, and that's exactly why it was so awesome. Sega didn't have to do that. They just wanted to. It must have been so innovative. So innovative, in fact, that Sony had to go and make their own take with the Pocket Station not even a year later. Sure, it was basically the same, except Sony's had a little skin flap thing. It did exactly what it needed to do for the PlayStation audience. Sometimes less is more, and Sony understood that. Performance-wise, the Dreamcast was strong for its time. Bright colors, smooth frame rates, and arcade-style clarity. The games felt fast, clean, and responsive. It wasn't struggling to keep up most of the time. It was ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. The console had confidence. Maybe too much, but I respect that. Now, on to the games. Let's start with Sega Rally 2. This game is arcade racing stripped down to its purest form. No nonsense, no distractions, just speed, dirt, and a car that constantly feels like it's one bad turn away from a disaster, in the best way possible. The handling is tight, but not overly realistic. You're encouraged to slide, encouraged to push the car harder than you actually should. Drifting around corners feels intentional rather than accidental, and when you mess up, you know it was your fault. The tracks are designed for momentum. Long straights leading into sharp turns, elevation changes that force you to think ahead, and surfaces that actually feel different when you drive on them. Dirt feels loose, and asphalt feels firm. And visually, it's clean. Not flashy, but readable. You always know what's coming, and which is exactly what you want in a fast arcade racer. This is the kind of game where you restart races, not because you lost, but because you know you can do better. Next up, Crazy Taxi. The game is pure chaos, bottled and shaken violently. You're not racing other cars, you're racing time, traffic laws, common sense, and sometimes the geometry of the city itself. Sidewalks? Fair game. Ramps? Mandatory. And shortcuts that look illegal? Absolutely. The controls are immediately understandable. Gas, brake, drift, go. Within 5 minutes, you feel like a maniac behind the wheel, and the game rewards you for it. The faster and more reckless you are, the happier everyone seems to be. The city feels alive. Cars honk, pedestrians scatter, and the map becomes muscle memory as you start flinging yourself through streets without even looking at the mini-map. And the music? Loud, repetitive, and perfect. It drills into your head until you associate fast food, screaming passengers, and near-death experiences with pure joy. Crazy Taxi doesn't just age, it keeps yelling at you to drive faster. Then there's Daytona USA. This is Sega's arcade heritage in its most recognizable form. Bright colors, wide tracks, and a sense of speed that doesn't rely on realism, it relies on feeling right. The cars feel light, almost floaty, but in a way that works perfectly with the track design. You're constantly adjusting, constantly correcting, and always just barely in control. Every track feels memorable. Big sweeping turns, sudden hairpins, and long stretches where you floor it and pray you set yourself up correctly for what's coming next. The Dreamcast version captures that arcade cabinet energy surprisingly well. It's smooth, responsive, and visually clean enough that nothing gets in the way of the racing. This is the kind of racer you play for comfort. You don't need to think too hard, you just drive. Sometimes, that's all a game needs to be. And for the final game, there's Seaman. Yeah, the fish. No, not Seaman. Seaman! Get your mind out of the gutter. This game is one of the strangest things Sega has ever put their name on, and that that's saying something. You raise a fish with a human face. It talks to you, listens to you, and occasionally it feels like it's mocking you. You don't really play Seaman in the traditional sense. You check in, you talk, you wait, come back later, and see what horrifying phase of evolution you've just unlocked. The voice recognition actually works, which somehow makes the whole thing even more unsettling. This thing responds to you, remembers you, reacts to your tone. It's like it's forming opinions. It's weird, it's uncomfortable, it's slow, and it's unforgettable. This game could only exist on the Dreamcast. No other console would have allowed this to happen. And honestly, I'm glad Sega let it happen. So, why is the Dreamcast considered underrated? Bad timing, tough competition, and Sega taking risks when the industry was shifted towards safer and more predictable choices. But looking back, this is a really strong way for Sega to go out. Arcade-perfect racers, high-energy chaos, experimental oddities, and a console that didn't care about playing it safe. From Sega Rally 2 to Crazy Taxi, Daytona, and the wonderfully strange Seaman, the Dreamcast proved Sega still had a little bit of creativity left to burn. It may not have lasted too long, but it left an impression, and honestly, that counts for a lot.
Dude, the Dreamcast sucks!